Today is June 6th. Now, for a long time, that was like September 11th. It was like December 7th. It was one of those dates that everyone would remember. It was the D-Day invasion, when everyone in America and really in all of the free world held their breath collectively and waited to see what would happen after the single largest military invasion in history occurred. It was the D-Day invasion. And there's going to be a lot of remembrances, a lot of grand gestures, as well there should be 79 years later. It's a pretty big deal. But I always like to take a remembrance and make it incredibly micro, incredibly personal. What did this mean to the actual individuals? And well, we've got a great story for you. It comes from our friend Jennifer Van Laar, managing editor of RedState. And boy, it's even more personal for you. This is about your grandpa and grandma.
It is.
How
It's
cool.
just a heartwarming story, even if you're not part of the family.
So tell me about Gramps. He was part of the invasion?
He was not. He was in the Signal Corps, so he was in England
Oh.
on June 6, 1944, about 2.5 months after they got married. So Grandpa was there. She knew that he was in England. Obviously, nobody knew what was about to happen. They met in downtown LA. He had taken the train in from 29 Palms and ordered up some girls, he and his buddy, from the USO. They wanted to take dancing, and they saw my grandma, who is a tall, redheaded, Irish-French girl, walk in, and they said, "Whoa, we both want her," and flipped a coin. Grandpa won, and the rest is history.
That is just fantastic. Okay, let's take a look at Grandma and Grandpa, by the way. We have a picture, and oh man,
That's her wedding picture. Yep.
phenomenal. And I actually see a little bit of you and Grandpa.
Oh, yeah, probably the smirk.
Right? Exactly. All right, so they get married 2.5 months later. He's in London. And of course, everyone here knows the D-Day's happening, or we hear from President Roosevelt. I believe his announcement on the radio was a prayer. It was like a 10-minute prayer for the nation that then piped into the BBC. But your grandma, for all she knew, he could have been right in the middle of it, right? It was all a mystery.
Right, yeah, she had no idea. And then he wrote her a letter June 7th, about a 5-page letter, and went through telling her all the things about his day, and then said, this day that we've been waiting for and praying for, because everyone knew we were going to have to invade Europe at some point, that this day has finally come. And it was a year to the day from when they met. And so in that year they had gotten married and he'd shipped out, and he said he was glad to be able to let her know that he was okay, that she and her family had to be asking the questions that thousands of Americans were asking at that time.
Yeah.
Is my loved one safe?
Let's take a look at that letter too. I love that your grandma had the presence of mind to keep it and save it. And my God, the penmanship.
Right?
Oh man, I'm so embarrassed. Thank God. Hopefully none of my letters will ever make it 80 years from now. Jennifer, did you grow up with these stories? Did your grandparents talk about the war?
They talked about that she got on a train. They'd been trying to arrange to get married, so in case he died in war, that she would have benefits. And finally, he'd sent her a telegram, "Get on the train and meet me in New York." And she took the train across the country by herself at, I think, age 22, to meet him and get married. So that's the part we knew. But until both of them died, the rest of us didn't know about these letters. She had 300 of them in her garage.
Wow.
And when she was moving one time, she told my stepmother, who had found them, "Oh, just throw those away," because they had divorced. And even though my grandma was still, he was the love of her life, they had divorced, and then she just wanted to get rid of them. So my
Jennifer, sadly you're breaking up now. So we're going to have to leave it there. We've lost her. She's in California. They don't have any infrastructure out there. But what an amazing story, and what a great way to sort of boil down what a big day like this is. You remember D-Day, you remember the importance, the historical importance, but remember, history is made by individuals. And I don't mean Winston Churchill, and I don't mean Franklin Roosevelt. I mean Jennifer Van Laar's grandpa, who was wearing a uniform in London in the Signal Corps and doing his part for this incredible day. It means all of those individuals who we we honor and we notice and we remember when we see the gravestones at a military cemetery, but each one of them has a story. Each one of them has a woman that was waiting at home for a letter like that. Each one of them did our nation proud and continues to do so. Always remember. That's it for this edition of O'Connor Tonight. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. In the meantime, I'll see you on the radio.